What's up, guys? I've been MIA for a bit, but we are back. The development is back, and hopefully we'll have more videos for you soon. But it's not about me today. We're here to talk about all that glitters is bronze, and I have the director with me, Jinji. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for having me on, Luis.
No
Uh,
problem.
yeah, so glad to have this space, share a little bit of my culture and my vision for this film. So I'm a writer, musician, artist, filmmaker, and I play Kulintang music, which is this row of 8 gongs you see here. I'm actually going to start off by playing a song, a Kulintang song called Dagongo, which is from the southern region of the Philippines, and it's usually accompanied by a dance and lots of gongs and other drums, but it's just me today, so you hear a little bit of it. And it said that the song is used for healing, so if you have any, negative thoughts or anything that's been bothering you lately, hopefully it'll lift your spirits.
Awesome. So I'll let you be, and everybody enjoy the music.
All right, that's one of my
That,
favorites.
that was awesome.
Thank
That was
you.
definitely awesome. So, tell us a little bit more about what you just played and the instrument that you just used.
Yeah, so Kulintang is the name of the genre of pre-colonial, pre-Christian indigenous Filipino music. It usually has 8 bronze gongs, like the ones that I just played, and there's usually a bunch of like different size gongs. You have like a big round one called the agong, small one called the babandil, and then you have a drum called the dabakan, usually, and that's all part of the ensemble. And then kuatang is also the name of the gongs themselves, the melodic percussion instruments. Uh, so yeah, the song that I played is called the gongo. It's usually accompanied by a sword and shield dance called sagayan. I tried it once before though, and I'll leave that to the dancers because it's like really heavy, and you have to wear like the shield. It's
Okay.
like a square or a rectangle shield that has like a brace on the knuckles. So it's like, it's like you have this big old hat on your head and you're stomping around. And yeah, I'll leave that to the dancers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes the dancers is what brings out the music. Like the music is amazing, but how can I say, like when you do like an opera show or like some
Mm.
or like anything, like just
Mm.
watching the percussion is what makes the music, but like watching the dancers is what also like brings out, and then you can feel um what's the word, like you can just feel the energy of the music or the sounds or in general just anything.
Yeah, they definitely complete the vision. I guess that's like how I would say it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm in a band right now, Kulintang Dialect, where we perform Kulintang music with like American accent, like our own style, I like to say. And
Yeah.
so we're looking for dancers. So if anybody's out there in the Bay Area want to join, feel free to hit me up later.
Yes, anybody in the Bay California area, if you
Mhm.
want to join Gingy and do some music and or dancing,
Yeah.
hit her up because she's looking for people, and I would love to see it too. So
Oh,
all
I,
right.
Sorry, I said the Bay Area. It's the Yay area. Yeah,
Yay,
actually. Yay. Yeah.
the yay, the yay area, everybody, the yay.
Yeah.
Um, so how did you come to write and direct all this? Like, what made you like one day just pop in your head and just be like, I
Yeah.
want to do this?
Yeah. Right. It was kind of divine timing because I'd always thought about this is actually my first film I've ever made. And
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. And it's on the film festival circuit and it's doing so much better than I would have expected. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. And so there's actually a local media incubator here called San Jose Create TV,
Mm,
and they're actually genuinely committed to representing underrepresented communities in media. And so they have this program called Documentor Me, which is a 12-week mentorship program where they train you on how to create your own documentary.
okay.
And there were like over 50 applicants. They usually get a lot of people, and there were only 10 spots in the program. And so I applied and I got in. Uh, yeah, and coincidentally, that was also the same summer that I discovered the world of Kulintang at the Middletown Heritage Foundation in San Francisco. They have these programs where you learn about traditional Filipino dance, arts, and music. And so when I found out about it, I knew that I wanted to, promote it as much as possible because the thing is, like, even though this music is hundreds of years old, if you go to the Philippines, or as I call it, Tawalisi, that's what it was called before colonization, actually.
Okay.
Uh, if you go there and you ask, the average person, like, oh, do you play Kulintang? Do you know what Kulintang is? Chances are they'll say no. Like, because of colonization, it's like not as common. They still play in the southern region, but it used to be played all throughout the country at one point. Um, and so here in America, thanks to this man who's named Denangon Kalandoyan, he came here in the 70s from Maguindanao in the Philippines. He's the one who, really propagated this music throughout. So anybody who plays kontang here in the United States, they probably learned a song from him because all this music, actually, you can learn this music too because yeah, you don't need any music background, you don't need any sheet music.
Okay.
You learn the tradition by rote, where you watch by learning somebody do it and then you copy them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. That's like easy enough because, well, not easy enough, but easy enough to like follow along because like it's like that movie um Drumline where like
yeah,
he didn't know nothing about music. He loved drums and all he did was follow the beat. And if you're saying something like that where you can follow the beat in the notes,
yeah,
then it it should be easy, but not as easy as until you get to
yeah.
learn it.
I mean, like anything new, it takes practice to master, but
Yeah.
I think that's what I really love about this music is because that makes it inclusive, because not everybody has a printer or can afford like all the materials or can afford music lessons.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I have like awesome teacher Conrad. He's the founder of our band, and because I'm part of the band, he gives me free lessons because I'm committed to it. But
Okay.
he deserves to be compensated and like um, where was he going with that? Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Have you ever played instruments before this or no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the point that I was going to make about inclusivity because I actually have an extensive background in classical music, classical
Okay.
piano and percussion. I have a degree in percussion already, actually. And
Awesome.
so that's also why I was drawn to Kulintang because percussion is like anything you can make vibrate by hitting with your hands or sticks. Even your body can be percussion, right?
Yeah.
And so transferring those skills to Kulintang was, more feasible. And yeah, in the classical world, like taken music history classes, music theory, pedagogy classes, and not once had I ever heard anybody talk about this music.
Yeah,
Right? Like, I've been studying music for almost 20 years now, and I'm 30 now. And like, I last summer, not last summer, summer 2020 that was the first time I ever heard like the word Kulintang, and that's why I really wanted to make this film because it's from my people, from my culture, and that's special, and it's really affirming too because for so long, they're seeing all this music by Beethoven, Mozart. Like, I really love that music,
yeah,
but it had made me feel like, oh, isn't there something in my culture that's like also like praiseworthy and beautiful? And actually there was. It just wasn't in those books that I read.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The only music type of background I have is when I was in like junior high school, where I played like violin and guitar, and that's it. I didn't follow through, but I did love the guitar. I mean, both the guitar and the violin, and I know in every culture, like there's a lot of different instruments, and and if you want to grow as a musician or everything, everybody likes to learn the piano,
Uh,
the guitar, the drums, the violin, the trumpet, and there's like so many instruments out there. But
yeah.
everybody's everybody's culture has different instruments where like it looks like a drum or it's similar to a drum, but like you
Mm,
don't play it as the drum, or like there's a lot of strings involved where like we may, let's say a violin, I forgot how many strings a violin has, but like let's say it has like
mm,
five. There's other instruments out there, there'll be like six, seven, eight, and you're just like, whoa. But
yeah.
so the instrument you played is called
Kulintang.
cooling cooling tongue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
K-U, yeah. It's
And
spelled Kulintang. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
and and how many, I saw like how many was in the role, is was there like
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah, complete set is 8,
okay,
and mine's a little bit smaller because it's a practice set. I'm saving up money for like a really like nice one,
yeah,
but then I have to get it imported from the Philippines because they don't make them here, you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
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 but yeah, full set is 8, and actually, if you look into something called gamelan music, which is like more played in Southeast Asia, like Indonesia or Malaysia, they have something really similar, but it's not just 8. They have like a block of just like 20, 30 gongs, and they play
okay,
it like a piano. It's crazy. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's just really interesting when you look into the whole world of gongs in Southeast Asia. Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah. There's I've seen like big gongs and small gongs, and like every of them have like just different sounds, and then you're just like, whoa, when you hear it.
Mhm.
You can't really miss it if like if you when they play it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about more about your
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah.
Um, it's called, for everybody, it's called All the Glitters in the Bronx. Give me one
Uh-huh.
second because I have it here. Aha. That,
Yay.
and
It's so beautiful, right?
I see this won a lot of awards so far, which is amazing, and it's an indie short film, and it's been in the indie short film festival. Um, let's talk more about that, because I've seen a little preview of it, and it looks amazing. I would like to check out the whole film.
Mhm.
But let's talk more about that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or what do you want to know? Like,
Well, first, let's see, how long did it take you to write it?
oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I credit myself as like the writer, even though it's like a documentary.
Hmm.
But in essence, like what I learned is like with documentary filmmaking, you are kind of writing or creating the narrative in the editing process, right?
Yeah,
That's like the nitty gritty like part of it, which I really love. It's also, very grueling but rewarding. And so I lost my train of thought. Sorry, what's your question again?
The writing of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so with that process, like I think how I decided like what the narrative of the documentary was going to be was I heard a famous director, I forgot who it was. I wish I could remember. If you remember, let me know in the comments. But this famous director, he said a good question to ask yourself when making a film is where's the vulnerability, you know? And to me, that makes a lot of sense. Like, you want your film to like resonate with people emotionally, right?
Right.
And so,
Especially with the culture.
yeah, yeah, because it's so personal, you
Yeah.
know? And so I that's what I let like lead the way in terms of like my style. And if you watch the film, has burned in captions as opposed to closed captions.
Okay.
Closed captions you can turn them on and off, right?
Right.
But mine has burned in captions. That's for a very specific reason because during my mentorship, I actually watched this film by a deaf artist named Christine Sun Kim, and it was called Closer Captions. And she really highlighted how, for people with auditory impairments, closed captions really suck in general. Like, it was really funny, but also kind of sad. Like, she showed how usually when there's music playing in films, they just put like a single music note icon there. They don't even describe the music. And
Yeah.
to me, as a musician, when I thought about that, that hit me in my feels because I was like, oh my God, like, imagine if I couldn't hear music and it's something I've known my entire life. So, what I really tried to do with the subtitles, whenever the music was playing, I tried to make it like multi-sensory and like as beautiful and descriptive as possible. So that's why in the movie I say things like the gandingan, which is like a set of hang gongs, crooning melodic sighs, or the Kulintang gongs murmuring ancient prayers. So that way somebody could, even if they couldn't hear it, they could feel how beautiful the music is in some way.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I've never thought about that until now, where like I could hear and see and everything, but there is people out there that are deaf or blind, and they don't. If they're blind, they can only hear what they're watching, or if you're deaf, you can only see what you're watching.
Mhm.
And when watch, I don't use closed captioning, so I can't see. I usually just like listen to it,
Mhm.
unless um there's a foreign language, and then they'll the subtitles will have the what are they talking about. And sometimes I do put closed captions if I can't really hear, because sometimes there's movies that are low, and you're like,
Yeah,
huh, what are you saying? So you
yeah,
gotta go back and put the subtitles on. And but I have noticed when I put subtitles on, it'll just be like a song playing, or like, as you said, a musical note, and you're just like, for me, if I can see it, so I can see like, oh, okay, they're playing a violin or guitar,
yeah,
or a piano, whatever, and you just never know the name of the song. But recently I've noticed that I guess some movies, or like a show I've seen, where it'll say like, oh, the name of the song by who,
mhm.
or it'll say, oh, violin playing, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
I've never noticed that before, and then now that
yeah,
you're bringing it up, I've started to see more of that, like more
yeah,
of like, not just a musical note, but more of like, okay, this instrument's playing, or like, this is the name of the song, because people do get curious of what instrument's playing, if you've
yeah.
never seen it before,
Yeah.
or
See,
even the
that,
tone.
that too, like, it really helps to, like, say the name of the instrument, for everybody.
Yeah, 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 it really is. It just helps with in general, because if you don't know the culture itself, or if you're not part of that culture, you won't know what they're playing. You just be like, oh, that instrument's beautiful, or that song was beautiful, and you're just like, and you want to know more. And then if you try to research it, you probably won't even find it, because you don't know what it is, unless like you look up the film and try to see what they played, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so after writing, or creating this film,
Hmm.
how hard was it to like go pitch it to somebody to be like, hey, this is this is what I want to create as a film, and also like in a very cultural world where we have it's Spanish, Philippine, like
Hmm.
there's so much culture. Like how hard was the process to be like, this is what I want, this is what the movie's gonna be about, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. So actually, because it was made through that program I mentioned, I had part of the application process was creating a pitch. It's because the application process was like already a little bit, yeah, like kind of grueling. Because we had a initial round of applications and we had an interview round where we kind of like had to pitch our idea to the mentors who are in the documentary program. And actually started out with a different idea, which is going to be about mental health in the Filipino American community, which I'm still doing
Okay.
later. I just wanted to take more time to develop that idea. But then I was like, I wanted to do something joyful because it's still like the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I think that our community, like, we need something to lift our spirits. So I pivoted my idea, and yeah, like that, I was able to, make something that it seems like a lot of people in my community, they resonate with it. And a lot of the commentary I've been getting is that it feels like a very heartfelt film, which is what I really aim for because it is like a piece of my heart in that way.
Right. Yeah. And I know everybody that is, let's say Philippine for sake, must also like love the movie, and just be like, this is what's missing in our culture, because sometimes like sometimes when life moves on and the year keeps going, like that part of the culture is sometimes disappears unless there's that
Yeah,
one specific side that just like try to keep going, and bring it on to the next generation, to the next generation.
yeah.
Yeah.
You said, yeah. I mean, I hope I hope people in the Philippines like it because I applied to a couple of film festivals in the Philippines, but I won't know until October. So hoping,
Okay.
hoping
Well,
yeah,
let's hope everybody that's hopefully watching, put
yeah. I'll
do
send I'll
their.
send the jury this interview when we're done.
Yes, yes. So I guess as here in America right now, and you've gotten a lot of awards. You know, I think I've counted one, two, three, four, like I think 6 to 8 awards, if I'm correct.
uh, I haven't updated yet, so I think it's about a dozen by now.
Oh
I'm
wow.
not sure it's around there. It's only me doing everything, the marketing and social media, and well, yeah. So I gotta update it later, but
Okay, but that's good for I and this is your first film, right?
it is, yeah,
But that's good for your first film. Like you
yeah.
got not a lot of people can say like as an indie film, like they've gotten 12 awards. Like some receive none, or they've got one or two. Like
Mm,
this movie must have really inspired a lot of people to make films like this, or even like brought them back to their culture where like they've
mm,
heard of it, um but not of like really like, I guess like you could say like gone back to that part of
mm,
their culture, because
uh-huh.
like sometimes like I said, like it gets lost, like you know
Yeah,
about it, but then you kind of, it's sad to say, but like forget about it. Like it's not
yeah,
forgotten, but it's forgetting, because
yeah,
life moves on and you got to do your own thing per se.
yeah, yeah. Definitely hope that because I'm the youngest one in our band, and so I hope that like you said, like it inspires other people to research and reconnect with their roots, not just like Filipinx Americans, but like others outside of the culture. Because yeah, like I said, like it's just different, you know. Like I said, I went from classical music to
Yeah,
playing this, and it's different when you playing music that you know your ancestors played from hundreds of years ago. That's really special.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, let's see what else. What else can you say about this movie? Like, is there like, are you gonna continue doing more films like this, or what would be like your next step after this film?
So I just had this like wild idea the other day, honestly, because my bandmate Michelle brought it up. She was like, "Jinji, like, you know, wow, you got all these awards. Let's have like a screening." I was like, "No, I can't because I'm gonna get disqualified on the film festivals. You know, exclusivity rules." And then she was like, "What if we do like a Filipino film festival in the Bay Area?" And I was
Yeah,
like, "Ooh." There's an idea. So
definitely.
I am trying to leverage connections right now, see who's interested, find somebody as crazy as me who wants to start this thing and get it up and running because that idea has just been like, you know, bombarding my brain these past couple days and I was like, yeah, if we start a Filipino film festival in the Bay Area, like it's time. It's time. Like we have a large Filipino population here in San
Yeah,
Jose, where I'm based. A lot of Filipinos in San Francisco and Daly City. So I think that it would be a really great thing for the community.
yeah,
So if you're Filipino like me, my Instagram is right there. Send me a DM.
yes, definitely. Everybody out there, send her a DM, um, or even help her start like kind of like start a petition. I know everybody likes starting petition somewhere, and if there's enough to go around, like that's even better for you to like to show like people are interested, people want to see it because unfortunately like a lot of um a lot of indie films don't come to their state or whatever. Like
Mm,
I know in New York there we always have like an indie film festival here. Um
mm,
and I know California too.
mm,
But not a lot of states get to see it. They'll just hear about it
mm,
or like when there's awards going on, then there's like that small little section area like, oh, these are the popular indie film festivals that happened this year, and check it out, and then they'll show like everyone. But yeah, definitely people need to
yeah,
start a petition.
yeah, yeah.
um
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like, yeah, because I'm still a relatively new filmmaker,
Yeah,
right? My first film, but like I it's like one sort of critique I have is that it seems like it's changing in some ways, but you know what I said about like exclusivity and premiere rules. So
yeah,
that's kind of why like sometimes even though like I'm like, oh, like I can enter my film in this festival, it would be a good contender in this category there, but it's like, oh, you already played your film in this city or this country, so now we can't screen it anymore. Which I
yeah,
think is so, I don't know, elitist. And so if, you know, we get this thing going, like, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be, you know, like, if you're Filipino, have a film about Filipino culture, art and music, like, absolutely, like, everybody can join.
yes, yeah. um Do you have an idea for your next movie if that's
Mhm.
your next step?
Yeah, so I'm working on I have one screenplay actually, because I have yeah, I also write and I have some things published in local magazines. Actually,
Nice.
recently I don't have it with me, but I published an article about Kulintang in a local magazine called Eastside Mag. That was really cool.
Nice.
And yeah, I've been working on a short screenplay, um, which is about, it's a quarantine story. It's about love, but not romance. There's like a twist in there. And
Okay.
then, yeah, I'm also still developing my initial idea that I had during the documentary program, which is about exploring the topic of mental health in the Filipino American community. As and I don't know how it is for your culture or your community, but like definitely in our community, mental health is still very much a stigmatized topic, and so I wanted to, shine a spotlight on that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, all I can say is I know mental health is a very big topic for the past. I guess you could say 2 years now, ever since unfortunately, like COVID started.
Yeah, yeah,
And we won't get too much into COVID, but it's been a real big topic this year, and a lot of and it's unfortunate, like when you realize that when you do your day to day um things, going to work, if people with children that have to deal with their children, and you know um dealing with family, because taking care of family members, or whatever,
yeah,
you never stop to think about, like, are you okay, per
yeah,
se.
yeah,
You just keep going, and then until you hit that rock bottom, or until you, like, you're, as you can say, mentally can't take anymore, because a lot of times it's just like your job takes over, your children, or just you in general, like you have a lot of things to do, and you just never know. And
yeah,
unfortunately, when COVID hit, everybody either lost their jobs, or had to stop working for a little bit, and then hopefully a lot of them got their jobs back, and then a lot of people has realized, like, I'm not happy. I'm not happy
yeah,
anymore, or like, I don't like what I'm doing anymore, or just like, or there's a lot of things, like, you can go with, like, that you just realize towards these past 2 years, that, like, a lot you're just not happy in general, and then a lot of people has make the
yeah,
switch of
yeah. I
switch of,
think
like,
that,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, definitely agree with that. I think like um for me, like it definitely was like has been like mentally challenging at the beginning,
yeah.
because especially because my mom actually had a stroke at the end of 2020.
I'm
And
sorry
so
to hear.
yeah, but she's made like a really great recovery. She's able to walk and talk again. She's almost like 100% like back to how she was before, which is really amazing and great. Um, but also like I think like with that, like that was like when I made the film, because like like I said, I wanted something to like uplift people's spirits, but also like after that happened, I realized like with COVID and then seeing my mom go through that, like I realized how fragile and short life is. Like
Yeah,
you can say that, but then to see someone going through something like that, it really does like change you. And so now that the fire is lit under my ass, like I'm
yeah,
doing like everything, going nonstop. And so like the past year, like it's just been a really sort of like a renaissance year for me as an artist. I've just been putting myself out there a lot, and I've never really like, I'd always been making stuff, but I never like done that. I never like putting myself out there because I had all these like, now I realize like trivial fears, and now like there's no holding back. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's always, you always, what's that saying? Always check on your quiet friends, or just your quiet family members, because, like, you
mm,
just never know what they're going through. Because, like, when you talk to them, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm fine,"
yeah,
tired, this and that, and, like, all of a sudden, like, in a snap, like the next day something's happened to them, and you're just like, I just spoke to them, they were just okay, they said. And but
Yeah.
like, this year has been a lot about mental health, and but yeah, everybody go check on your quiet friends or family
Yeah.
members, make sure they're okay. um because you just never know. Sometimes unfortunately I feel like um people abuse that their mental uh illness, or just being aware of it, because you like like, yeah, you do have it, but then like they'll like abuse it to a certain point. But you know check on everybody, make sure they're okay, make sure that's all you can do. And and make sure they can reach out to you, like even at like any time of the day, because you just never
Mhm.
know like what what they're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
definitely agree with that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's all I can say. Like, even people like, for example, like me, I'm like naturally a bubbly person. And I think that sometimes, like, because people think that I don't have, like, everybody has their own stuff they go through.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes I think that maybe they think that I'm not going through something just because I'm just naturally bubbly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing good now.
Good.
This,
Good.
but it's always important to check on everybody, no matter how strong or how positive you think they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, because a lot of people go to you for advice, and because you're just that person, you're bubbly, you listen to them, and then like you talk to them and everything, and then you just never know how they're doing, because you're helping them with advice and stuff, and then like you realize towards the end, like, oh, is that person really going through something? And you just like never know. But
Yeah,
all we gotta do is take a little 5 minute phone call or text and be like, hey, you doing okay today?
yeah,
Or like or like even if like you need to step out and just be like, hey, let's go out to eat somewhere. Just do it,
yeah,
because you just never know, maybe that person will just open up to you.
yeah, exactly. Bell Hooks said, "Love is best realized in community."
Yeah.
And that's like my life philosophy.
Yeah.
I always try to be there for people.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to be there for people. Just remember, everybody, don't um mistake their friendliness or like kindness, because like I know unfortunately a lot of people are out there, and they'll just be like, abuse you because you're so nice and kind and sweet, and
Mhm. Yeah,
and and then like you don't notice that until the end, and then afterwards that one day you snap, and then that person's like, oh, well, what happened to you? And it's just like, yeah, you did this to me, you did that to me, like why I'm gonna still help you if like you're like, let's say, backstabbing me, let's say,
Mhm.
just don't remember those people that are nice to you, because when they need your help, you got to be there for them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And for everybody that's curious, if you're curious,
Mhm.
that what instrument she was playing, the Kulintang, if I'm saying
Yeah,
it correctly,
yeah, that was good. Kulintang. Yeah.
it is that.
Ooh, yeah,
uh,
that's a nice set.
and I found this picture on Google.
That's a good picture. That's a traditional stand, actually.
And yeah, this is what you had, but a smaller version, you said.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty. I've never seen it before, I will tell you that. And
Mhm.
it's pretty cool, like to me it reminds me um like like a piano in a way. It has like all your keys there, and
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
like in a drum form, and you just
Yeah.
just play you play the instrument just
Mhm.
like that.
Actually, I have a fun fact for you.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, so like there's another kind of gong ensemble
Okay.
uh, in the or genre of music in the Philippines called taboli. Taboli is like a um, different kind of region or different
Okay.
people in the Philippines. The Kulintang is from like the Maguindanao people in the southern region. So Taboli is like a different people, but what they would do with their gongs is they would each village would have its own set of gongs and they would use them to send messages to each other. So for example, if you play, some notes in a certain pattern, that could mean dinner's ready, for
Mm,
the person who's over in the next village, or like I love you, something
okay.
cute like that. Yeah.
So it's um like how farmers do, like they have their like square, the the triangle instrument, and they ring it, and they're like dinner's ready, or
Oh
like going
yeah,
back
kind of like
home.
yeah,
Something similar to that, I guess you can say.
yeah, just like their form of communicating long distance, I would say. Yeah.
Besides, what's the I know they this is probably so old and they probably don't do anymore. It's like smoke signals, like whatever type of smoke
Oh,
signal you
yeah.
can. I know people will be like, I'm here, or like, I don't
Mhm.
know. I can't really talk much about it because I
Yeah.
don't know much about itself, but I know
Me
people
neither.
send like smoke signals for different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What else? This is like, what else can you say about your movie? Like, um, in
Yeah. I
general?
think I got like so it won best film at the Asian Feedback Film Festival, which
Yeah.
is part of a larger festival called Wild Sound LA. And like what was really cool, which I think is what all this film festival should be doing actually, is they did a private screening for selected festival participants, and then they created a like 9-minute feedback video of like the people's reactions to the film, and like I cried like because like yeah, the feedback people said, they were like, oh, like yeah, the number one thing that I heard was like, it's heartfelt, it feels like very moving. And that was like the whole point of it. Like, because regardless of like how well it does in LA or America or whatever, what really matters to me the most is that like it connects with people on the
Yeah.
emotional level.
Yeah.
And well, also like, yeah, I really wanted to play in the Philippines, but I'm very happy. And yeah, it's. I think that as a short film, it accomplishes what it set out to do, which is give people sort of like an introduction to the music. It's not like a comprehensive documentary of like the whole history of it and everything, but I didn't want to go that direction because I wanted to be more personal and intimate,
Yeah.
and relatable that way. Um, and so in the future, though, now that I have this short film as proof of concept, I'm going to reapply for other grants to develop it into a full length like documentary, and
Okay.
hopefully get to travel around documenting other Kulintang groups, because there are actually a bunch in California, because it just so happens that Denongan Kalandoyan, the one who pioneered the music, came to San Francisco. And yeah, so it would be really great to have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that would be amazing if like one day like it just blows up like that, and then you could show the culture, show show other ways that people have played their music, and even if you gotta fly back out to Philippines,
Yeah,
find like
I
a
don't
certain
mind.
area, because
Yes.
I like those documentaries where like um let's say you per se talk about it, and then like you show a certain part of California where they still do it, and then you also show a part where like you'll fly out to the Philippines, and then this certain region
Mm-hmm.
continues on that generation where like they show their kids and other family members about Kulintang, and there's and everybody has like their different setup, or like how they play it, because some
Mm-hmm.
play it very loving, and then there's some people that play it, I guess, not aggressively, but like in a way where like just the tone of the sound just sounds very different from like a
Yeah,
soft a softer tone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That can also be like controversial because
Yeah.
that's always kind of like the sort of like concern, like when you're, because this is like a really treasured music, right?
Mm,
It's like an important cultural touchstone, and so everybody is going to do something different with it. There's some
right.
people who are like, I'm going to play it exactly the way it's been played for hundreds of years, and it's not going to be any different, nothing original or
Right.
whatever. And I respect that, but I also think that somehow, like, if you want it to appeal to younger people,
Yeah.
for example, like right now, like in my band, I'm the youngest one there. You want it to reach other people, you also have to introduce something new to it. And so, you know in our band, Kulintang Dialect, uh you follow us on Instagram if you like. Uh, we play the traditional songs, but we also have Conrad, our band leader. He's the founder of the group. He composes original songs as well, but they're rooted in that traditional style. And so I think that we do a very good job of balancing the traditional with the newer style that we have. And yeah, like it really is a beautiful music. If we ever go out, we're talking about doing a tour in the future. If we ever go out to New York, you know, hopefully you get to come and dance one of our shows.
Yes.
It's, I think I did want to pinpoint like a special moment in the film that you don't see too often. Somebody pointed out is that like this music brings different generations together,
Mm,
and it sort of I like to say collapses timelines
yeah.
that way, because you have uh, old people, elders, and younger folks dancing together, and like you don't see that like too often with like the club or you
Yeah.
know other other genres of music. And that's like that was probably the moment for me, like at our first gig, when I saw, we call them the Lolas, the
Okay.
Filipino grandmas dancing, but they were learning the traditional dances from like the younger folks who are like in their 20s, and they're like hip hop heads too. Like
Yeah.
that was really powerful. And that was like when I realized, like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is the kind of music I'm supposed to be playing.
Yeah. 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 There's a lot of I'm just gonna say Asian culture in New York. I don't I'm not gonna I'm not too sure what they are. They could be Filipino, they could be Chinese, Japanese, um, Korean, etc. And you hear a lot of different music or different sounds, and sometimes you just never know what that is, and unless you like
Mhm.
really like talk to that person. And unfortunately, not a lot of not everybody speaks very good English or English at all. But if you're curious, you can always do your own research. But like
Yeah.
um, you know, New York, I would say they call it Chinatown, but like you don't know if they're Chinese or Japanese or whatever. You just know
Mhm.
it's that region that is Asian region, I'm gonna say. And you if you walk through it's like you'll see like the different musics and instruments, and even just like the different cultures of like different foods and stuff.
Mhm.
And sometimes like I forgot the instrument that they play, that I've always seen, and it's very beautiful. And just the sound is very nice. So like to know about Kulintang now is
Mhm.
that's something new to me. Yeah,
Mhm.
and maybe I've heard it, or maybe I've seen it,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
um, if you don't, like I said, if you don't do your research or like look into it or even speak to the person that's playing that instrument, you won't know what it is until now. And
Mhm.
I will say this, because I know you did an interview with Brian.
Yeah.
He was the one that um one introduced me to you, and then also like look up cooling tongue, like do your research, because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this, and I even told him, I was like, what is cooling tongue? And he explained it to me a little bit, and then of
Mhm.
course I watched your interview. you guys, everybody that's watching now, go check that one out, or I'll put it in the description. But yeah, like it's from what you played right now, that it's really nice. And like I said, if you go to like any type of um orchestra music in, like, let's say New York, like, or even go to like a Broadway show, or an opera, like there's always different sounds, and when like it's aggressive, or it's like soft, or it's loving, or even something like you could relate to, but even though you don't know the song or the sound,
Yeah.
in your heart you just know it's something beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah.
um yeah. Let me show everybody the Instagram to it, which is, everybody should go follow. It's all that glitter is bronze. It's bronze, and yeah, it has everything. It has everything here.
Oh yeah, it's this Sunday. It's actually, oh yeah, tomorrow. It's screening at this film festival in Birmingham in the United Kingdom,
Oh,
and it's
nice,
nominated for the category of best documentary among four
nice.
other films. So hopefully, get an award. We'll see.
And yeah, you guys have your like your tours and stuff going on here. And then it's everybody just give it a follow.
Yeah,
Give it
yeah,
a
that's
follow. If this is something you want to support, give it a follow. That's doesn't take that much to show some love
yeah.
to
Do it for the
a page.
culture.
Definitely do it for the culture. Also, if you guys are on the Indie Short Film Festival page, which is also here. Let me just get it. And
Oh, it's still there. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's a yay.
and it's the Indie Short Film Festival, Los Angeles. And yeah, it just shows, you have the Kulintang right here with the other.
Mm.
What is this that she's playing right here? I don't know if you can see it.
Wow. Um, oh, the drum or the gong in the back?
I guess you can see the gong in the back.
Well, the one that your cursor is over,
Yeah, the one that
that's a
my cursor is
drum
over.
called dabakan. Yeah.
Dabakan. Okay.
So if you have ever seen like djembe,
Okay.
it's like an African drum. It's really big and heavy. It's kind of like that, but it has intricate like carvings on the side. You can't see it from that still just
Yeah.
now, but it has very, very beautiful, intricate carvings, which you'll see in the film if you get a chance to see it. And
Okay.
Michelle, who has her hand there in the middle of the knob of that gong. That's
Yeah.
actually a gong called the agong, or sometimes it's spelled Agung. And
Okay.
those gongs have like a really low, very deep tone.
Mm.
Compared to the Kulintang, it's kind of like chirpy, like very high pitched, right? The gongs I
Yeah.
was playing. So that one, it kind of like anchors like the sound. So, each instrument has its own sort of like purpose, sort of voice in the ensemble. You have your agongs, which are the bass, the dabakan, the drum is driving the rhythm, and the Kulintang is the one that's kind of like singing the
Yeah.
melodies, and then the little one there hanging next to Monette in the,
This one.
yeah,
Where my
that one,
cursor
yeah.
is. Yeah.
It's Babandil, and that's like it's like a very, very like light, yeah, sort of like metallic, just like sort of timekeeping instrument.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And if you guys want to check it out, it's on the indieshortfest.com, and or you can just Google all that glitters is bronze, and it's all right here. And it just talks about it, and um it's really nice. I would play this, but YouTube,
Copyright.
yeah, all that copywriting we don't want
Yeah,
to get involved in.
yeah,
And but definitely come check it out. This I've seen it already, and it sounds really beautiful. And yeah, yeah, it's nice.
yeah.
Any last words before we end our show today?
Uh, well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate, like I said, having this space to share a little bit more about Filipino culture and our people and our music. So thank you again, and
Of course.
I hope you guys, research Kulintang, research your own history and heritage as well. It's very powerful to come home to yourself
Yeah.
in that way. I think that's what I would say. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes. And before we'll go to some little comment sections over
Uh-huh.
here.
Uh-huh.
We have Martha Listab. She's the owner of MDMC
Oh,
Entertainment.
wow.
So she's watching, she's checking. And then we have Ryan here. He says, "Sup, Jinji? Hello, fellow." I don't want to.
Kapwa. Oh, that
Kappa.
means like your fellow like countryman or person.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I
Hi.
didn't I didn't want to botch that, so I'll let you
No
say
worries.
it.
Yeah.
And then we have somebody on YouTube that said the music was amazing.
Oh,
And
you.
we have Jake Gonzalez here that was watching. She plays the
Yay.
Kalugtang amazing. So
Ooh.
see, everybody loves it. I loved it.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then we have somebody else on YouTube that was
Mhm.
watching that said, "Feel how beautiful the music is. Love that."
Oh,
And
you
then
know the back feels. Yeah.
we have
Oh,
Janice,
there's more.
and
Hi. Nice to meet you.
so yeah, that was really beautiful, and I appreciate you wanting to come on the show today and talk about um all that glitters is bronze. Everybody definitely go check it out. Definitely follow that Instagram page, and if anybody else is interested, this is what it's called. And if you wanna start a petition to like see it somewhere near you, do that
Yeah.
because that helps her,
Yeah.
that helps Jinji. And uh Jinji, where can they find you? I guess they can find you either at the Oh That Glitters is Bronze Instagram, or your Instagram right here on your page, on your
Yeah.
by your name.
Either one. Uh, yeah, my Instagram is right there. Like I said, if you want to join the band in the Yay area or want to help me start Filipino Film Festival, reach out for sure. And yeah, I think that's all I have.
Awesome, awesome. And you guys, where you guys can find me, mostly on Instagram, which is its ITS_official OFFICAL. And you guys also give a thumbs up and a like on our YouTube page, and give MDMC Entertainment a follow on our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube page. If give us that subscribe, we'll be bringing more content. And thank you, Jinji, for coming on this and talking about your film and playing the cooling tongue, because that was amazing. All right. All right, guys. That will be the end of our show. You guys have an amazing day.
Bye.